I've come to the conclusion that modern politics has absolutely destroyed relationships. And I often wonder why the political landscape has molded us in such a way as a society to view that the political stances that people have are going to be more important than the actual principles that they hold. Because the principles are what make the political values when it comes down to it. And so I want to show you guys a video today, and I'm sure you've might have actually heard of this video going about online. You know, this is a new trend here that people have begun to kind of spread about on social media. And so this woman, I'm just going to go through, let her talk, and then we'll go through it again and then comment on the points that she has.
Do you want to know one of the saddest realizations I recently had? Was that as a liberal woman, it is really hard to find a man who is willing to play the more traditional masculine role in the relationship in today's day and age, who is not a conservative. A man who wants to pay on the first date, who wants to open your door, who has that want and desire to take care of you and to provide, who is not a conservative. And obviously, as a liberal woman, I do want to be respected for my independence. And I do want to have my own autonomy in the relationship and not be confined or conform to the traditional female homemaker, childbearing role. And most of the men that I've dated who do have that more natural provider masculinity about them are normally conservative. So I don't really know what to do because I don't want to compromise my morals and values just to find a man. But am I asking to have my cake and eat it too? Do you want to...
Oh man, this is just too good. So, spoil me like a little girl, but let me act like the independent woman that I want to be, is what she's saying. So let's go through it again, and we'll comment on some more things here.
You know, one of the saddest realizations I recently had was that as a liberal woman, it is really hard.
So she, right off the bat, like, you know, using the term liberal woman. It's so crazy to me how we've gotten to this point in the dating scene, I guess you could say, that we have to refer to ourselves as liberal or conservative, whatever. I personally don't even adhere to that anymore. I haven't, but I know the majority of people still do. And the reason that I don't is because, again, I've mentioned this in another video a while back on the 10 Commandments, but I genuinely think that if everybody followed the 10 Commandments, then there would be no need for government at all, because God is something that I fear more than any kind of government out there. And so that is one of the reasons why I think following the 10 Commandments is necessary for us. And it's very challenging at times, of course. Of course it is. However, that does not mean that, like, these are God's laws for a reason. And God's laws are there so that we can thrive and prosper under freedom and discipline of mind, body, and soul. So let's continue further. So,
to find a man who is willing to play the more traditional masculine role in the relationship in today's day and age, who is not a conservative. A man who wants to pay on the first date.
Oh, so now she wants the man to pay on the first date. You know, you modern women out there need to frickin' make up your minds. Do you want equality or do you want chivalry? There is no in between. And again, men, I do not recommend you spend a dime on any woman out there that is not at least putting some kind of effort and emotional investment into the relationship. Because otherwise, what in the hell are you doing?
Who wants to open your door, who has that want and desire to take.
So she still wants to have somebody that wants to desire to take care of her. Even as a liberal, quote unquote, woman.
Take care of you and to provide, who is not a conservative. And obviously, as a liberal woman, I do want to be respected for my independence.
So she wants to be, quote unquote, respected for her independence. In other words, she still wants to act single, but she still wants the benefits of being in a relationship.
And I do want to have my own autonomy in the relationship.
Again, she wants to have her own autonomy in the relationship, meaning she wants to wear what she wants. She wants to flash everything that she wants. Now, in all actuality, in this like video of her, she actually doesn't really look like crazy, like too crazy. Like, yeah, she's got a nose piercing, and I can't tell if that's like a crystal or something on her neck, and it does look like she's got long hair. She's fairly attractive, but this is like, like, look, lady, you want to be single, but you want to be in a relationship at the same time. That's what you're at. That's what you're saying.
And not be confined or conform to the traditional female homemaker.
Why don't modern women want to be a part of the traditional female homemaker? Is it not the case that women are the ones that move in? If a man does not build anything, the women in his life or around him are not even going to consider him as a potential prospect for a mate. The man has to build something. He has to be a warrior of some kind. He has to, like in the olden days, like tribal days, if the man wasn't some kind of provider or protector in some way, he wouldn't even be a part of the tribe. Like, if he didn't provide some kind of service of some kind. Because the hands of the king are the hands of a healer, right? That's something we learned from Lord of the Rings and Aragorn. Like, Aragorn, I don't know if you guys have seen that or not, but in Lord of the Rings, Aragorn, I think, is one of the most prime examples of a man, even though it is a myth, like, and it is it's a book and a film. It is a great archetype for what a man is. Like, there's a part where at the end of the Fellowship of the Ring, the first movie of the Lord of the Rings, Aragorn is, killing all of these orcs and disgusting creatures. And immediately after he's done and he sees his friend, well, I don't know at the time he would call him his friend, but he sees his like one of the members in his fellowship has 3 arrows in him, and he immediately goes over, and it's like he changes his whole complexion of his emotional state, and he immediately let goes of everything that just happened. And that's the kind of man that women really want. They want the kind of man that is able to, what's the saying, able to kill somebody and hold a baby in the same day. That's the kind of man that women really want. Because men are supposed to be the conscious beings that project outward into the world. It can be the case that they are able to absorb, but usually that's more of the feminine role. So the man that's able to constantly project his masculine essence into being is going to be the one that is most attractive, because he knows how to make things happen.
Childbearing role. And most of the men that I've dated who do have that more natural provider masculinity about them are normally conservative. So I don't really know what to do because I don't want to compromise my morals and values.
What morals and values? Like, what morals and values? I don't see very many quote unquote liberal people with morals and values. Their morals and values are no morals and values. Like that is their morals and values. And like, look, I'm not too big of a fan of quote unquote conservative people either. I'm just Thaddeus. I have a lot of different kinds of nuanced views on a lot of different things. But it's very clear that the principles that you hold do actually mold how you deal with personal and business like relationships. And relationships in the dating world, that has to be treated like a business. It's not going to work any other way.
Just to find a man, but am I asking to have my cake and eat it too?
Yes, you are, ma'am. Yes, you are asking to have your cake and eat it too. This is what we're dealing with. And this is what we men have to deal with. Women that don't want to change, that want to dress like, and again, this isn't a reflection on this woman specifically, but I've met women in the past where they want to dress, and this is where I thought at once upon a time, I was like, oh yeah, a woman should be able to wear whatever she wants. You know, she should be able to do whatever she wants. She's a woman. Like, let's empower women. Freaking beta as hell, stupid crap that I was programmed with, and that I believed, because at the end of the day, what I really wanted was to get the attraction from women. That's the only reason so many men that are beta go along with this kind of crap, because they just want the attraction. Meanwhile, you have the true alpha males out there that are actually just making stuff pop, making stuff happen. You know, when I started to decide to be a little bit more aggressive in life, to really go after what I want and to let people know what I want, everything became so much easier. And I regained my sense of self. But I met these women in the past where they would act single while they were trying to like date me. And I didn't know how to put that boundary up at the time, because I was in my early 20s. And I didn't know how to put that boundary up. And I wasn't serious about these women. I just wasn't really looking for anything serious at the time. And because I didn't take myself seriously, to be truthful. And so these women around that I was dealing with, they wanted to act single while still like wanting to date me. And at the time, I just kind of let things go, but I'd never really placed a boundary. I just kind of was like, and I just kind of like, I wouldn't say withdrew from the situation, but just didn't want anything to do with them really. Because there was still that part of me, that actual masculine part of me that was saying, no. This is wrong. Like, this is legitimately wrong. And the reason that it's wrong is that I now know that it's not that I don't want women to be empowered. That's not what I'm saying at all. It's just that I find it disgusting for you to be dating multiple people at one time. That's disgusting. I don't like it. And because here's the thing. If you're quote unquote dating, and if you say you're dating, a lot of the times women say that in modern day to just save face, and to say that they're just, hooking up with somebody. And that's just not my style. I don't do that. I don't like it. And it's so crazy to me to see how many women don't want to be mothers. Like that woman in the video didn't want to be a mom. Like what? like feminism has really destroyed so many possibilities for women. And yet they still have this biological urge to find that masculine male provider. But it's not their morals and values that they're, like she said in the video, that she's like being compromised against. It's her biological instinct that she's trying to fight. She's trying to repress her biological instinct. It's so crazy to watch. It's so wild. But alas, this is what we have to deal with. And so the best thing that we can do as godly men is to start changing within ourselves and to not be attached to women in general. And you can still have love for them. You can still show that affection if you'd like, but do not go overboard and do not spend a frickin' dime on a woman that is a 304. And I've mentioned this before. A 304, if you plug it into the calculator, switch it around, upside down, you'll see what I mean by a 304. But these women are 304s. Most of them out there. And it's sad. It's sad to see women, so many of them, just destroy their lives thinking that it's empowerment and thinking that politics is the base of which you should place the foundation of your relationship. Oh, we've got a long way to go, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a long way to go. But it's better to start now and to start with us than it is to not ever start at all. So we got to get cleaned up. And in order to get cleaned up in the society, we have to start with ourselves. And with that being said, I hope this message was informative and insightful. And I'm not trying to hate on anyone. I'm just speaking facts. And I'm speaking truth to the best of my ability. And with that being said, peace be with you. Till next time.